Hello and welcome back. We're doing the BookTube Newbie Tag today. I'm just gonna go in order of the questions. So first question is, why did you start this channel? Short answer, I have FOMO. I've been watching Allie's videos for a little over a year now, and my friend May has recently started their own BookTube, and they've been having so much fun with it. I get FOMO, so I wanted to join in. It helps that I also have a lot of opinions about everything all the time. So here we are. Beyonce is also joining us on the BookTube Newbie Tag. Anything to say? No. Okay, great. Next question. What are some unique things that you will bring to BookTube? I'm gonna be for real, probably nothing new. I am excited to keep finding more booktubers to follow and find new folks on this platform, but I'm really just here for the party and to yell about my opinions on books. Ma'am. No shame. What are you most excited about? Probably to be able to get more recommendations from others on BookTube, as well as maybe revisiting some books that I haven't thought about in years. I've been adding both new and old hobbies for the past couple of years, such as Twitch, cross-stitching, embroidery, and YouTube's been something that I've wanted to participate in for a really, really long time. I have a ton of ideas, but my problem is I'll get a bunch of ideas and then work on planning them out and brainstorming, but then never actually act on them. So I figured, why not start now and actually act on one of my ideas that I have? When did you start reading? I read all the time when I was in grade school. My timeline is probably fairly similar to a lot of folks that I've met, in that you start reading a whole bunch as a kid. Once you get to like university or your early 20s, you kind of drop off from reading for fun because you're working or you're going to school. You're just hanging out. You got other things going on. And then after a few years in the real world, you pick reading back up as a hobby again. I really only started reading consistently again when we were moving from Southern California to Minnesota. Our PCs were packed up. The TV was packed up in the last couple of days. Wasn't really a whole lot to do other than stare at each other and talk to each other. I picked up my Kindle, started reading again to pass the time. And now I'm on BookTube and joining in on all of my friends' buddy reads, whether they like it or not. What book or book series got you into reading? I was a Goosebumps kid through and through. The Choose Your Own Adventure books were probably some of my favorites, and I definitely cheated by holding my thumb on the previous page. So in case whatever choice I made led to my in-book death, I used to be ashamed of it. Not anymore. The truth is out there. I'm just putting it out there. I was making a little list of all the books that I used to read as a kid, and it just started waking up the brain cell like you wouldn't believe. I also remembered being obsessed with like the Babysitter's Club. I also remember reading a ton of classics when I was a kid. Some of my favorites were Swiss Family Robinson, Black Beauty, Heidi, Nancy Drew Mysteries, Little House on the Prairie series. That was a big one. The brain cell is waking up now. It's bringing back all of the books I would read. What kind of books do you like to read? When I got back into reading a couple of years ago, I think I was like Googling book recommendations just to try to find some new stuff that I didn't know, hadn't heard of. When I was Googling these things, they were leading to TikTok videos. I don't have TikTok. I don't want the app. Think I would just Google it. It would give me a link and then I would open it up in an internet browser instead of in the app itself. I got a lot of recommendations from BookTok, which was fine a couple of years ago. But since then we have moved on. I don't know, maybe you too. It could be both of us. It's the royal we. But anyways, back on track. As I've continued to read as a hobby, I've learned what genres I tend to kind of go towards and which ones I don't really prefer. The ones that I seem to like the most are fantasy, horror, dystopian, and mythology, like the Greek retellings. I just think those are really fun. Some of my favorites are Ninth House, the Live Ship Trader series. These are so good. I'm so glad that my friends have introduced me to Robin Hobb, because that's my new obsession. And I want to read every single book that they've written and I will. Maybe not this year because there's a lot and the books are really big, but I'll do it eventually. Circe was still one of my favorite books that I've read in the past couple of years. Dungeon Crawler Carl, which Allie's been getting as many people as she can to read Dungeon Crawler Carl, and for a good reason. It's so good. I've been listening to it as the audiobook. I haven't read it physically, and I'm sure it's just as good in the physical book, but if you have the opportunity, listen to the audiobook. It's so good. It's so entertaining. She Is a Haunting was also really good. Boys in the Valley, the Warrior Cat series, and Fantastic Land, that one was really good. I wasn't sure how I was gonna like that one, honestly, because it's kind of done in an interview format, but damn, that was a good book. Next question is, where do you read? Mostly on my couch or in the bed. I like to be comfortable, and the only time that I'll really read here at my desk is when I have some friends running reading sprints or co-working sprints on Twitch. The only problem I have with reading at my desk, even during sprints, is there is a very, very strong possibility that I will get completely distracted from my book and want to play on the computer, want to play a game. I'll want to talk too much when we're not working. Sometimes when we're working. I try to not read at the computer as much, but when we're running sprints, this is really the easiest place for me to read. Other than that, I want to be comfortable, so I'm going to go sit on the couch. What does your book collection look like? Not very big or impressive. At least in this current apartment, you are not going to see a video from me in front of like really cool big bookshelves with a lot of books on them. I have a decent amount of space in my apartment, but I also have a lot of stuff that just lives in my apartment and takes up space. That's on me. We're working on it. Not a ton of room to have a large library of books. I mostly read ebooks, some audiobooks, and I'm trying to utilize my library in case I do want a physical copy of a book to read. The only time lately that I've been trying to buy a physical copy of a book is after I've read it as an ebook and I just love it, which is the case right now for the Robin Hobb books that I'm reading. I 100% plan on buying the Live Ship Traders and the Farseer trilogies. As soon as I started reading them, I've said this a billion times, I was like, I'm gonna be rereading these. I will be going and getting physical copies. What are some questions you'd ask your favorite booktubers? Can any of you teach me how to manage my time better and then help me actually stick to a schedule like that? I don't have a ton of people on BookTube that I follow. It's a very short list, and I'm looking forward to meeting new people and finding new folks to follow and to be inspired by and just enjoy the content that they create as well. I really just struggle with my time. That's the biggest thing, especially for the folks who have been doing this for a good few years. Just being able to see like a behind the scenes, how they manage their time during the week, what their plans are, how they brainstorm ideas for videos and then plan them out, film them, edit them, all of that. I love behind the scenes stuff. I love a good vlog. So if you are out there and you're like, hey, I've been thinking of doing a week in my life kind of vlog, or behind the scenes, how I get my stuff done for BookTube, or just in general for YouTube, please make it. I will watch it. That's really the only question I have. How do I manage my time? How do you manage your time? Can you teach me? I will take a lot of notes and then I'll brainstorm it and then I'll think about it. It's just that next step of execution of the plan is where I fall short. So if anybody has any plans, any ideas, any advice, please leave it in the comments. I can use all of it. I almost hit start streaming. I was over here trying to like stop the recording for a second. I hit start streaming. Good thing it asked, are you sure you want to start stream? Imagine if I went live on Twitch right now. We need to calm down. We've had too much coffee. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Looping it back into the last question, probably finding the time to create the content that I want to make and be consistent with posting it. I, again, really struggle with time management, trying to balance like coming up with ideas, working on those ideas, working on projects, completing projects, which is totally different than working on a project, making time to live stream consistently, and then also trying to balance real life things as well. We all live on the internet, but sometimes we need to step away. I tend to end up creating more work for myself that either just doesn't need to be done at all or it doesn't need to be done right now, just to avoid completing a task because my brain's going,
well, if it's not done perfectly, why even bother?
And that's just my brain being silly. Perfectionism is a really big roadblock for a lot of people, and I'm working to get out of that mindset. I was actually just talking about this with my friend May, trying to get out of the mindset of like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little silly. It can be a little, maybe not up to the standards that you want it to be. If you want to consistently create content, make videos, put the videos on YouTube, you've got to at least start. Trying to make it perfect every single time, it's never going to be perfect. Even if you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you may have it down to a pattern at this point. It's never going to be completely perfect, and that's okay. I'm working to get out of that mindset, and I'm sure a lot of people are. But even though I've only made a couple of videos so far, I'm really enjoying it, even the editing part. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm hoping that just enjoying this whole process is going to help make it easier for me to stay consistent. I think that's about it. I managed to again stay on task and on target. We went off on a small tangent earlier, but we came back. It's fine. Tangents are gonna happen. But this was fun to make, and it is getting easier every single time I record a video, and I'm looking forward to making more. I was brainstorming a lot yesterday and came up with a good handful of ideas, and so I'm looking forward to reading more stuff, making more videos. I thought I would be making more running videos. I did end up vlogging the first week of my workouts when I got back to running this past week, and it's fine. It's a little more difficult because here I can just sit at my computer, or I could even sit on the couch and film on my phone. It's a little more challenging to film while I'm running because I'm trying to focus on my run and then be like, oh wait, I could make a little clip right here. It's a little more work. It seems like, at least for the time being, I'm going to be doing more book content rather than running content, which is fine. It's only been 3 weeks. I can keep doing this for a long time. It's fine. We're getting off topic again. Thank you if you made it this far, for watching the whole thing. I look forward to meeting new folks. I'm going to go and try to find some people who also have the BookTube Newbie Tag and see if I can meet some more people on the platform. But make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again next time. Have a good one. Bye.